Kenya, Modori Kenya. Arara name. Gai moigwetha. Rathima Kenya. Bũrũri nĩ ũthiĩ na mbere. Tũtiracoka na thutha. Twakĩrwo nyũmba na barabara. Rari na iharo cia ndege. Twakĩrwo nyũmba na barabara. Rari na iharo cia ndege. Bũrũri ũyũ twaima haha. Ithuĩ tũthiĩte kũraya. Kenya ĩno itũ tũtiracoka thutha, tũrathio na mbere. Kenya ĩno itũ tũtiracoka thutha, tũrathio na mbere.
Ni maua Kenya yetu ni maua. 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 Wakenya tunafurahia uongozi wa rais wetu wa kupigana na ufisadi. Ile Kenya yetu isonge na mbele. Ukifika mji wa Kiambu uitane gavana. Ni yeye ubeba funguo za kufungulia wageni Kiambu. Ni maua Kenya yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kenya yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kiambu yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kiambu yetu ni maua. Baraki tunafurahia kwa kututembelea Kiambu. Hapa kwanga wana wetu Nyoro. Tunataka kusema hakuna ufisadi. Baraki tunakuomba uwe macho katika nchi yetu. Ile pesa zote za serikali ziweze kujenga nchi yetu Kenya. Ni maua Kenya yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kenya yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kiambu yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kiambu yetu ni maua. Baraki tunakuomba uwe macho katika nchi yetu. Ndio pesa zote za serikali ziweze kujenga nchi yetu Kenya. Hospitali pia maofisi, mashuleni pia ukulima. Wale wote wenye ufisadi sisi tunaomba utuondole. Ni maua Kenya yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kenya yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kiambu yetu ni maua. Ni maua Kiambu yetu ni maua.
No monene wa bũrũri. Iya. Na uhuru ne
Monene wa bũrũri.
Na uhuru ne monene wa bũrũri. No ngemoria no akwĩra nĩwe. No mũnyinyi wa bũrũri. Iya. Na Ruto nĩwe mũnyinyi wa bũrũri. Na Ruto nĩwe mũnyinyi wa bũrũri. No ngemoria no akwĩra nĩwe. No mũnene wa kaũntĩ. Iya. Na Nyoro nĩwe mũnene wa kaũntĩ. Na Nyoro nĩwe mũnene wa kaũntĩ. No ngemoria no akwĩra nĩwe.
Asante.
No mũnene wa
Asante
EACC.
sana
Iya.
mama. Thank you so much.
Mũnene wa EACC.
Asanteni sana.
No ngemoria no akwĩra nĩwe.
Asante.
Bũrũri witũ Kenya nĩ bũrũri wĩ
Asante
iria
sana.
no Ngai ũrathimage.
All right, thank you
Bũrũri
so
witũ
much.
Kenya.
A round of applause for them as they walk out. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana mama. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. All right, in the interest of time, let me call in Muthigi Youth Cultural Dancers. Just one quick performance. Kindly, as you walk in, a round of applause for them as they come in. Just one performance really fast in the interest of time. Tafadhali Muthigi Youth, endeleeni.
gemisia nyamayo Ekenya nane ito ne tonyita ne iguothe ekaiwana gaicukuru Ekenya no etonyita ne iguothe Toko mithia damathia no etago ungumania eguo tutore na thayu etago ungumania eguo tutore na thayu toko mithia damathia etago ungumania eguo tutore na thayu nego thegereria bururi Othegereria kana ndige bururi mwire Tone gothegereria bururi Othegereria kana ndige bururi Nade to bururi Nade to bururi Oh, mi memenyi porori. Toria ni memui oga o porori. Penade to porori. Ade to porori. Ikereria mokere ni wago tiara kwanya kinyua. Matigari manjirogi ne marega ungumania ehoe umae ehoe umae kadewa mwarewa oino kadewa mwarewa ego kone kongwanerera Ego kone kongwanerera Odo tokire na ithuothe Torohe na bara ino Ihoe umae Ihoe umae Kadewa mwarewa Nugayere motoino kadewa mwarewa Ondo kwaria ne kwenda na o mundu enyitie muthiori O mundu enyitie muthuri tugacirithie twinamo tumenyerere korona umae kadewa mwarewa ndugayere mwetoinoke kadewa mwarewa wethambe moko wethambe moko kwigitira ti iguoya aya umae umae abai hoe gukune kwa abai hoe ditemanie taja Oya boy, dari kiabu, abai hoe gukune ikweja ikweja abai hoe kwara kura kwara Maria mwago kere oyo gotire oge ngai mana njira ya
Asante. Asante. Asanteni sana. All right. Asante, asante. Makofi kwa Muthigi Youth Cultural Dancers. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana. Makofi kwa Muthigi Youth Cultural Dancers. Thank you so much. I have a quick concern here from the health officers. Tafadhali, make sure you're wearing your mask and you're putting it on properly. They're walking around and there's a bit of concern. Tafadhali ensure umevaa mask yako. Inaitwa ni barakoa. Kiswahili sio mdomo changu, but ni barakoa. Kila mtu avae mask tafadhali. They're walking around checking. Thank you so much. Now I'd like to welcome Sami Brayo for a very quick performance. It's good to see you, Sami.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Praise God. Praise God once again. So my name is Sami Brayo, as you've heard, or Brian Samuel Ndungu, and I'm a Christian, fearfully and wonderfully made in God's unique design, to create a life and legacy, pointing others through my music and sharing of God's word. Amen? So as you can see me here, I was born the way I am, but I have never let my situation limit me. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that God has gifted me with abilities such as I'm an artist, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a musician, I'm a footballer, I'm an actor, just to name but a few. Praise God. And so I'm privileged to be here. And if I know many of you are curious how I do all of these things, you can find me on my social media platforms as Sami Brayo, those who are there, and you will see, okay? So going to the theme for today, allow me to read it. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having me. Today, I would like to talk to you about something that has shaken our country and the rest of the world. A few years back, you will never have thought about this virus known as COVID-19. And certainly, you wouldn't have found people locked in their houses, deprived of the freedom to move about and go about their daily affairs. My fellow Kenyans, I am sure a lot of you can identify with the many challenges faced while tackling and overcoming a year of physical, social, and economic inactivity as the world tried to fit with the conditions that have been brought about by the COVID virus. Never in my life did I think that schools and other major institutions could be interrupted for a whole year and counting. Well, I was wrong, because with each passing day, COVID-19 seems to reach a new and tragic milestone. More people continue to be infected, and more people continue to lose their lives in the most unfortunate and inhumane way. However, I'm not here to speak about the effects that the virus has caused the world. I am here to motivate you and double down on everything that we can do to recover from COVID-19 with integrity. Because as we continue to fight the pandemic, we should do so with uprightness and with the avoidance of corruption at all costs. When we have been celebrating our successes in our efforts to suppress the virus, some of our efforts in fighting the pandemic have been reversed by the dragon of fraud that has by a far mile continued to reverse what has been achieved so far. Every day, we are learning more about this virus and the disease that it causes. And every day, we are learning about how corruption continues to hit us the hardest, without sparing the privileged and underprivileged, young or old, just like the virus. As you all know, the demon of corruption has created extreme difficulties in ensuring health workers have access to the equipment that they need to do their jobs safely and effectively. Corruption has led to a lack of jobs, particularly for our youth. Corruption has led to a collapse of the same institutions that should be protecting us from the virus. And when our greatest concern has been the impacts that this virus could have on us, the same vigilance should be applied in ensuring that dishonesty does not set us and our institutions back to where we started as we try to recover from the pandemic. By upholding our utmost integrity and accountability, we can reach the goals that are meant to be reached in tackling this virus. As we speak, we can congratulate our government in putting anti-corruption initiatives in place, most of which have involved different stakeholders from different fields that have all come together and partnered in the fight against the mammoth problem of corruption. Fellow Kenyans, a lot needs to be done. A lot needs to be learned. And every citizen must do their part in this fight by upholding integrity and by saying no to this vice of fraud. Therefore today, I welcome all of you to the same challenge. Have a major talk and try and figure out the best ways to fight this mammoth monster of corruption. Find a plan to follow and set some goals for yourself and our country. Sign up and get started on this integrity race that gives you something to work towards. And don't stop after that first achievement. Push on, and before you know it, you will have won the race in recovering from this pandemic with integrity. So our leaders, brothers and sisters, my fellow youth, let each and every one of us take the responsibility of what has been entrusted to us with integrity and without being corrupt as we fight the dragon called COVID-19. By doing so, we shall overcome and be the best country in the world. By fighting corruption, our hospitals, schools, roads, and businesses shall blossom and grow. Also, let us not forget persons with special needs, including the old and aged in our society. Let us walk with them in this journey, and Kenya will forever shine. With those few remarks, may God bless you, and may God bless Kenya. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Another round for Sami. You can see part of his art over here. That's why I was displaying them right here. And now I have a very interesting request from a young girl called Nancy Mumbi. She says she only wants 30 seconds of your time to say a poem. I really struggled. I wanted to say no, but the humane part of me could not do that. In as much as we're running out of time, Nancy, I'll just give you, please stick to the 30 seconds, in as much as you're not part of the program. A round of applause for her, Nancy Mumbi, poem for 30 seconds only. Wacha tukusanitize.
Mheshimiwa Mheshimiwa Kiambu Hongera Mheshimiwa kwa kazi unayoifanya. Sote tumefurahia kwa kujitolea kwa roho yote. Hongera Mheshimiwa, hongera. Wewe nimezirisha safari yetu ya Kiambu. I'm sure tutaenda mbele. Sote tumefurahia dadi. Hongera Mheshimiwa, hongera. Mimi mtoto mdogo, I salute you Mheshimiwa kwa kujali maisha yetu, pokea shukrani. You are our hero, hongera. Kiambu iende mbele, tuzidi kuheshimiana na kudumisha amani. Hongera Mheshimiwa, hongera. Asanteni.
Another round of applause for Nancy Mumbi. She's only 11. She had to appeal and insisted that she has to speak, and that is the spirit of a fighter. Asante sana. Another round of applause for Nancy. She goes up to her hero. Asante sana. That's a quick photo opportunity. So we are going to make sure that we catch up with time, and I'd like to call upon Mr. David Gadhi, who's the chair technical committee, CLIF, which is the Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum. Mr. David Gadhi, to come and make very quick remarks, just about 2 minutes only because of the interest of time, just to give us brief overview remarks. A round of applause for him as he comes up.
Okay, thank you very much, Trevor. Our chief guest, the Honorable Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency the Governor, Kiambu, the County Commissioner, Chairman of Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, all protocols observed. I've been given a task to just take you overview of the Kenya Integrity Plan, which is going to be unveiled today. The Kenya Integrity Plan is developed by the Kenya Leadership and Integrity Forum, which is a partnership founded on the United Nations Convention Against Corruption and the African Union Convention for Preventing and Combating Corruption, and also the Kenyan laws. So Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum brings together all stakeholders in the fight against corruption, and particularly to provide a platform for a comprehensive stakeholder approach to the fight, and to mobilize and empower all Kenyans to contribute to be able to engage in the fight against corruption. Now, the Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum brings together about 20 stakeholders. Key among them is the executive, the county governments, the judiciary, parliament, religious sector, and media, among many others, up to 20. So the Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum decided that it is good to have a roadmap on how the fight against corruption by all the stakeholders is going to be undertaken. So it is on that basis that a committee was put in place comprising all the stakeholders, and I was appointed a chair so that we can develop that roadmap. And it's going to be unveiled today. The plan will last 2019 to 2023, and basically seeks to achieve involvement of organizations and individuals in the fight, to promote good governance, so as we can fight and prevent corruption, and also to enhance collaboration among partners, because the fight against corruption requires a lot of partners. The plan, you'll find in it that there is a strategic model on how the plan will be implemented, the fight against corruption. You'll find the vision there, the mission, and the core values. And flowing from them, then there are the strategic themes and strategic objectives. There are 6 strategic objectives, which I will just run through. One is strengthen Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum so that they can bring together all of us. Then there is the second one is to strengthen administration of justice. And the third one is to strengthen political accountability so that all of us can be accountable, including the politicians. And the fourth one is to promote a responsive and accountable public service, which is required to give us services as the common mwananchi, the citizens, and corruption can interfere very much with those services. The fifth one is to promote integrity in the private sector, the private service. You know, civil servants, when they sit, they don't bribe one another. They wait for corruption to be brought from the private sector as they seek businesses and so on. So there is a whole strategic objective that will deal with that. And the final one is to promote citizen ownership of the National Integrity Initiative. This is flowing from the fact that as the citizens, every citizen has a role to play in the fight against corruption. And the Kenya Integrity, implementation of the Kenya Integrity Plan will be monitored. We have the National Forum on Integrity, whose patron is His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya. And then we have a National Coordinating Committee, which is chaired by the Honorable Attorney General. And then we have sector coordinating committees. Each of the 20 sectors have a committee. I want to say that the strategic issue in the Kenya Integrity Plan includes enhancing accountability and commitment of stakeholders in the fight against corruption. The role of the public is clearly underlined in the plan so that we can have a very good fight against corruption. It is not objective to expect that the fight against corruption will only be implemented by the institutions established by the government and in the civil society without the public participating. And for the members of the public to be able to participate, then it is important that they be empowered with enough information, knowledge, and skills to be able to fight corruption. I am the acting director for the National Anti-Corruption Campaign Steering Committee, established in the Office of the Attorney General, to create awareness and educate Kenyans on the fight against corruption. And I can tell you, whenever we have been going out to create awareness, is that like the members of the public sometimes think they don't have a role to play. So even some of the projects that are implemented within our areas, you find there is no project management committee, materials are being stolen, and it's us, the citizens, who participate in stealing those materials, and when they are stocked in a shop, we go to buy cheap cement, cheap iron sheets, and so on and so on. So the National Anti-Corruption Campaign Steering Committee has established county anti-corruption civilian oversight committees. The members are seated there. Please stand up for the Honorable Attorney General to see you. Yeah, those are the members of the County Anti-Corruption Civilian Oversight Committee established here in Kiambu, and they are going to bring education right to your villages where you stay, so that, please sit, so that you can be empowered to fight and prevent corruption. So we are going to work together so that we can be able to change the way corruption is manifesting here in Kiambu. So with those very many remarks, I want to thank you for the opportunity to present the Kenya Integrity Plan. The fight against corruption has a plan, and we ask all of us to join in the fight. I thank you very much.
All right, another round of applause. Thank you so much for David Gadhi, who's the chair, technical committee. Cliff, now Cliff has 20 representatives from the different sectors. I'd like to call upon them in groups of 5s. I'll run through them. Not all of them will speak. I'll only give you a minute each to make a quick remark on your areas of priority. This is what we call in the newsroom a sound bite. Simama useme mimi nimekataa ufisadi kutoka leo mpaka kesho, hatutafanya ufisadi kabisa, asanteni. That's it. Allow me respectfully to stop you should you go beyond the time. Number 1, executive. The executive is represented by the Office of the Attorney General, Honorable Justice Retired Paul Kariuki Kihara. Thank you so much. I recognize your presence. Because you will speak later, I will not allow you to speak just now. The legislature. Is there any person from the legislature here? The clerk of the National Assembly, part of the Cliff sector representatives, by a show of hands, if you're there, kindly come to the front. The judiciary representatives, if you're not there, we will skip very fast. The judiciary, these are the sectors, the Cliff sector representatives. Now we are the judiciary, that's number 3. The county governments, there's a chief executive officer, council of governors. Governor is here with us. I recognize your presence as well. I will allow you to speak later on. Thank you so much. Labor, all right, thank you. We'll give you a chance to speak. Labor, Ministry of Labor and Social Protection. Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, if you make your way to the front. The enforcement, Commissioner General, KRA, the enforcement side. Yes, you're there. We'll give you a chance to make very brief remarks. And the oversight agencies, which is the Office of the Auditor General. Where are you? Prepare yourself for a quick remark as well. I'll start with you from Parliament. You mentioned that you will be representing them. Just to give Mheshimiwa just a quick remark, just about 1 minute 30 on the areas, sector priorities for the fight against corruption during COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bwana sifiwe. The Governor, AG, all invited guests. My name is Shakil Shabir. I'm the chairman of the African Parliamentarians Against Corruption. I'm the legislative arm. I represent the legislative arm of our fight against corruption. The reason I'm here is to tell you that we are taking this fight in legislation as well, in the Parliament. And this job is a very slow job. Even if we are 5 of us, even if we are 10 of us, the idea is integrity. In integrity, God has given us this chance. And we brought COVID. And under COVID, we've realized how small we really are. So we need to pull together to make sure that we deal with this dragon called corruption. I want to make one thing today. Tomorrow, I personally am leading a group to KEMSA. We are going to break in to KEMSA, and we are going to take out those PEPs that they are hiding there. That is the way, I think, the thing to do. We just have to take action. If they don't want to listen, we have to get physical. We have to, not physically that way to go and fight, but we have to actually do some action. Thank you very much.
All right.
And it's been a pleasure to be here.
Asante sana. Honorable Shakil Shabir Ahmed is a member of Parliament for Kisumu East and also the chairman of African Parliamentarians Against Corruption called APNAC. A representative from the judiciary. A representative from the judiciary, if you're here, kindly make your way to the front, 1.5 minutes. If you're not, we will skip. Labor, PS Ministry of Labor and Social Protection. Can I see by a show of hands? If you're here, kindly make your way to the front. If not, we will skip. Let's go to enforcement. Commissioner General, Kenya Revenue Authority, kindly make your way to the front. 1 minute, 30 seconds for very brief remarks. Asante sana.
Thank you, Trevor, and thank you, so much, Attorney General. Glad to see you again, and Chairman Bishop, and all the dignitaries who are here present, and Your Excellency, the Governor. My name is Tobias Konyango. I'm the Regional Coordinator for Central Region for Kenya Revenue Operations. And today I'm here representing Commissioner General, who is the chair of the sector on enforcement. That brings together all the law enforcement agencies like ODPP, KRA, or Kenya Police Service, and the others. And personally, I've been touched so much, young man, by your presentation. May God bless you so much. Allow me to say that in terms of sector priorities that was given to enforcement, the number one priority has been automation. As we all know, that corruption usually thrives where there are outdated services that beg for bribes and facilitation fees. And in this core, a lot has been done. Like Kenya Revenue Authority has automated extensively, and right now you can easily pay most of your taxes from the mobile service. And you can also get your PIN number, check even your TCC, whether it is valid, and so on. And also the ODPP has also done quite a bit in terms of automating services and their virtual hearings. For instance, like the Uadilifu case management system that can now allow all processes of the court procedure to be documented automatically. So these are the kind of services that have been rendered under the enforcement. Another area that had been given a lot of priority was investigation and prosecution on tax evasion, and also to provide mechanisms for stakeholders to share information and experiences online. And this, a lot has been done in this area. Kenya Revenue Authority has provided a reporting system, anonymous reporting system that is web-based, that can allow corruption to be reported, and it will automatically assign you a code that nobody can trace back to you. And this encourages people to report corruption wherever they are. And also, we also know that in terms of recruitment and vetting, both ODPP, the police, and Kenya Revenue Authority, there is a background checks that are being done, and vetting is being conducted. Kenya Revenue Authority has taken it even a step further in terms of lifestyle audits for their staff. Allow me to finish by saying that the impact has been tremendous, and the citizen need to know that because of the fight against corruption, revenue collection has been enhanced. Last year, Kenya Revenue Authority managed to collect 1.6 trillion. That is unheard of. It is 18% of the GDP, which many countries in this region have never managed even to approximate. Our neighbors have only managed about 11 to 12% of GDP. And this year, our resolve is to collect for this country 2 trillion Kenya shillings. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Asante sana, asante sana. In the spirit of the 1 minute 30 seconds remarks, where is the representative from the oversight agencies, Office of the Auditor General? If you're here, raise your hand. Office of the Auditor General, very quickly, 1, 2, 3. We move forward. Media Council of Kenya. Media Council of Kenya. All right, there you go. Go ahead, 1 minute 30, sir.
Thank you. Our guest of honor, Attorney General, His Excellency, the Governor, Chairman, EACC, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Mine as a representative from the Office of the Auditor General is that our main role is to audit all the public funds. As our colleague from KRA is talking about 3 billion. Currently, we are auditing more than 2 trillion. So the task when we talk about audit is to check compliance, to ensure that there is effectiveness, safety, and also results. The results, in terms of ensuring results, the Office of the Auditor General also have come up with a new initiative called Citizen Accountability Audit. Because what we have realized is that at the end of the day, it is all about partnership. And we want to ensure that as we do the formal audit, we can be able to also get data directly from the citizen representatives so that we can be able to confirm whether the public money has been used and utilized to give services as intended. Otherwise, in terms of ensuring that we contribute towards Kenya Integrity Plan for 2019-2021, we intend to, we have planned in 2020-2021 program, we are planning to ensure that we audit all money which have been targeted towards COVID in all the public entities. That is one priority. The other thing also, we have ensured that we have formed a Ethics and Integrity Committee chaired by our new AG, because our AG was one of the members of the Committee of Kenya Integrity Leadership Forum, and we want to ensure that as we do the audit, because our work is more to enhance accountability in the use of public resources, we also want to ensure that we are enhancing accountability with integrity, because we know at the end of the day, it is to ensure we deliver and ensure the trust and from the citizen is achieved. Otherwise, I want to thank you very much, and may God bless you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Any representative from the Media Council? I mentioned that the Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum is made up of about 20 sectors. The private sector? All right. Go ahead, sir. That's from the Media Council.
Thank you. If you skip me, I was going to withdraw your accreditation. I don't know about Attorney General, His Excellency, the Governor, Chairman, and distinguished guests. Good afternoon, or it's morning. The Media Council is honored to be part of CLIF in the fight against corruption. You all know that the work of the media in advocating transparency in public service and highlighting incidences of corruption. The media is committed, despite all challenges, to investigate and highlight cases of corruption, and most important, to give the voice to the voiceless or the public, NGOs, and other activists who want to highlight cases of mismanagement and lack of transparency and accountability. We are happy that social media, despite its great challenges and being a great conduit of fake news, has also given individuals an opportunity to come out, highlight, and call out incidents of corruption or lack of accountability, either at the national level or at the county level. We urge that as we move forward under Objective 2 of the CLIF Strategic Plan, the media will participate in enhancing and mobilizing communities as per the CLIF strategy that communities must participate. The media will undertake through vernacular media, through social media, and the mainstream media to make sure that every Kenyan citizen can participate and can have their voice heard. I wish you all the best, and congrats to EACC for leading us in the CLIF celebration. Thank you.
Asante sana. Private sector, do we have the private sector? All right. Thank you so much. Another 1 minute, 30 seconds, just for brief remarks.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Our chief guest, Attorney General, and His Excellency, the Governor, and the distinguished guest. My name is Harun Kyogora. I represent the private sector, that is the Kenya Private KEPSA, Kenya Association of Manufacturers and United Nations Global Compact. I have a few remarks to make here on behalf of the private sector. Indeed, the theme for this year is recovery with integrity, and we have our private sector's companies being guided through the 10 principles for UN Global Compact. This is the 10th principle, meaning that we have already institutionalized the fight for corruption using some very basic and global frameworks, and including the local frameworks. So to this end, the private areas for private sector, there is the code of conduct that the large companies and even the SME have been able to sign up for, and we always encourage them to live up to this because this is one of the critical themes globally. I know you have heard that the private sector, courtesy of Transparency International and even the consortium of non-state actors, we called for a clear audit of the COVID finances to ensure accountability when the private sectors pray or do business with government, and even when they are fighting such a global pandemic. Indeed, we have also had numerous working groups to encourage businesses to collaborate and have teams where they can be able to learn, they can share experience, and even engage in joint activities to fight this monster called corruption. In this case, we will ensure that we have competitiveness and ensure that we deliver the services effectively and efficiently, because this is where corruption kicks in, when efficiency and effectiveness is compromised. The other question is the question of illicit trade. We are against counterfeit, and we are saying as a private sector, we encourage taking specific actions, especially having an open desk to report on this, and also training the supply chain players on some specific awareness sessions. So because of time, I really appreciate this, and we call that all private sector actors to take corruption as a primary element and to kick this monster out of the value and the supply chain.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you for helping us save on time. I want to call upon the professional bodies, professional associations of Kenya. APSEA, if you're here, raise your hand. If you're not, we'll be moving on in 1, 2, 3. All right. I don't see any hands raised. Good. Let's move on to the next. The Education, PS, Ministry of Basic Education, the CEO, Nancy Macharia, TAC. I believe I saw you somewhere here. Okay. Yes, go ahead. Come. This is not the CEO, Nancy Macharia, but he's a representative from the education sector. A minute 30. A minute 30 seconds, please. Just make very brief remarks in the interest of time, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. I am Ibrahim Mumin, the Director of Administrative Services, representing Dr. Nancy Macharia, the Honorable Attorney General, Mr. Kihara, His Excellency, the Governor Kiambu, the Chairman, EACC, all other distinguished guests. At TSC, we are in the business of ensuring that Chapter 6 is implemented. On a daily basis, we undertake sensitization and training programs on corruption prevention. We formulate corruption prevention plans and implement corruption prevention strategies. We conduct risk assessment and develop risk management plans. We also carry out advocacy programs. We create linkages with other like-minded organizations on promotion and integrity and corruption eradication. We process wealth declaration, chairman and AG. TSC is the only organization that has automated its wealth declaration forms, and that has led us in seriously doing what it is to reconcile the wealth declaration and the liability and all these issues with our teachers. We undertake monitoring, evaluation, and review all the corruption prevention activities and strategies. We mainstream the national values and the principles of governance. AG, ours has been a great success, particularly at the headquarters and in schools across the country. And I say this on behalf of Dr. Nancy Macharia. Thank you. Thank you, Trevor.
Asante sana. Thank you so much. I'd like to call upon the civil society, Transparency International. I saw Sheila Masinde, who's Executive Director, Transparency International. A minute 30, Sheila. I know you and I have very long conversations on TV, but now it's a minute and 30 seconds only.
Thank you very much, Trevor. The chief guest, Honorable the Attorney General, Your Excellency Dr. Nyoro, the EACC Chair, Your Grace Archbishop Wabukala, all protocols observed. Thank you very much for hosting us here, Your Excellency. As we mentioned earlier during the courtesy call, it's very symbolic for us to be in Kiambu County. We joked that you're a product of an anti-corruption initiative, and we hope to continue to see such anti-corruption initiatives because we have a big problem of leadership in this country, and it's about time that we took Chapter 6 seriously, and I hope that because you're a product, you will make Kiambu County a Chapter 6 county, one that respects leadership and integrity as articulated in Chapter 6. As civil society, we are really committed to ensure the full implementation of the Kenya Integrity Plan. We have been given specific responsibilities in regard to promoting vigilance and civilian oversight, civic education, research for evidence-based advocacy, as we have always done, capacity development, and support in developing legislation. I'm so happy that we have here Honorable Shakil from the African Parliamentarians Network Against Corruption, who we have worked with very closely to push forward legislations, and we have the Honorable Attorney General here today. I want to make a plea for the whistleblower protection bill. We've been working with APNAC, and we're trying to see how we can move it forward, but we need the help. We have been getting the help from your office, but we need to push it forward because it's been a long time coming and has been pending for more than 7 years. So I hope that's one of the commitments that we can make at this forum today. We are also keen, as you can see from the KIP, that we've also been given the responsibility in regard to public interest litigation. And currently we are processing, it's unfortunate that many times we have to go to court to get things done in this country. But that is really how we've had to do things. Currently we are pushing a case to ensure that there's access to information on how COVID-19 resources are being applied. Because we've had a great problem this year. I think we've seen the most egregious form of corruption. When Kenyans are sick, Kenyans are dying, and people still plot to steal from us during this time. I think that has been really unfortunate, and I think as CLIF, as a forum, we must insist that greater accountability measures are taken going forward. We've seen the president making announcements on certain recovery plans and policies, but this will not be successful if we don't put in place stronger accountability safeguards. So my plea, now that we have everyone here, we have the Honorable Attorney General, we have representation of the county government, we have EACC, we have the Office of the Attorney General, of the Auditor General, let us ensure that moving forward, as we tackle the second phase of COVID-19, anti-corruption measures must be key. Because from where we sit, we feel that anti-corruption has not been taken seriously in regard to management of COVID-19 resources. And I think as a multi-sectoral initiative, we must make our impact and ensure that resources that are going to be used moving forward for management of COVID-19 are going to be applied and insulated against theft. Because we can't, our theme today is recovery with integrity. We can't recover as a country. We can't get out of this pandemic if we don't take accountability seriously. So for us as civil society, we will continue to perform our roles as defined in the Kenya Integrity Plan. We'll continue to hold all of you accountable. I think all of you have been given roles as different sectors. And one of the things that we pointed out in the KIP is that we need to see commitment from all the sectors. We need to see accountability. For us, we will play our part, but we'll also hold each of the other sectors and institutions critical in supporting anti-corruption efforts accountable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Asante Sana. The Interreligious Council of Kenya, do we have a representative? Interreligious Council of Kenya, yes. A minute 30 tafadhali. Thank you so much.
Honor our AG, the County Governor of Kiambu, Governor Nyoro, the Chair EACC, our own Archbishop Eliud Wabukala, distinguished guests, all protocol observed. Good afternoon. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. I'm Reverend Father Joseph Mutie, the Chair of the Interreligious Council of Kenya, but also the General Secretary of the Organization of African Instituted Churches. And as you may know, that the Interreligious Council brings together the different religious groupings or religious coordinating bodies, both from the Christians, the Muslims, and the Hindu. And together we partnered with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, but also the National Anti-Corruption Steering Committee on this fight. In the recent past, we committed ourselves to a number of priorities that we've engaged together. And this involves developing and cascading to the grassroots faith-based information, education, and communication materials against corruption with EACC, or Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, and the National Anti-Corruption Steering Committee. Number two, we will also engage in to enhance financial accountability and sound financial practices in all religious institutions through continuous audit and financial capacity assessments. And number three, set up committees to resolve corruption and unethical conduct allegations in all religious organizations. And number four, we will improve adherence to the code of conduct for employees in the religious sector. Number five, we will hold regular media briefings on issues, corruption, and unethical conduct. And lastly, we will institutionalize chaplaincy services in our learning institutions. We are grateful that we've partnered, and I want to take this moment to thank religious leaders who have committed themselves to this fight. It is a cause worthwhile, and I thank you all for even offering your time in your media stations to speak against corruption on your pulpit and any other engagements and platforms that you find. Religious leaders, thank you, and keep on. Let's keep together. And I urge our citizens and our congregants, let's listen to our religious leaders. They are telling us the truth, that this fight, we are going to win this fight. Together we have developed some material with the EACC and NASC, and some of them we already distributed, others we are going to distribute to the regions. But again, together, as Jesus said in the book of St. Luke chapter 12 and verse 15, watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions. Tuache tamaa na tuangamize ufisadi. Asanteni.
All right, thank you very, very much. Commission for Administrative Justice. Commission for Administrative Justice. Is there a representative here? All right. Ministry of Transport, Transport Sector. Is there a representative from the Transport Sector? All right. Kenya Bureau of Standards. Is there a representative from Kenya Bureau of Standards? Okay. Central Bank of Kenya, Financial Services. Is there a representative here? All right. Then we go to the development partners, UNODC representative, corruption advisor, David Robinson, who is here with us. I'll give you a chance to make quick remarks. A round of applause for David Robinson. Thank you so much.
Asante sana. Can you all hear me clearly? Your Excellencies, Honourable Attorney General, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It's a great pleasure to be here to represent UNODC to commemorate International Anti-Corruption Day. As you all know, this day is marked at the same time as our world has been shattered by a global pandemic that continues to unfold as we speak. The COVID-19 crisis threatens to push, latest estimates, more than 100 million people into extreme poverty this year alone. To save livelihoods and lives, governments are spending and fast-tracking economic stimulus packages, and corruption is targeting these emergency measures, weakening vital health and social systems with lethal consequences, and that's not an exaggeration. People have lost jobs and social protections in the course of this crisis, giving rise to dangerous frustrations and turmoil. We've seen that in this region. In our time of greatest need, corruption is fueling even greater instability. Now more than ever, governments need to use the tools provided by the UN Convention Against Corruption, of which Kenya is, of course, a signatory, was the first signatory, to further strengthen anti-corruption bodies, improve oversight over stimulus investments, and increase transparency and accountability. As guardian of the Convention, the UN Office on Drugs and Crime, of which I'm the Regional Anti-Corruption Advisor for East Africa, has supported 179 countries to date to implement this global framework. And we are working with governments to promote anti-corruption action as part of the COVID-19 response and recovery. I will try and short-circuit my speech a little, as I'm conscious that we're short on time. So UNODC remains steadfast in its support to member states across the whole of the East Africa region. We operate a number of different projects, many of which are based here in Kenya. One in particular, which I feel like I should mention, which was concluded yesterday, which is the East African Youth Online Blockchain Challenge. And it perhaps shouldn't surprise anyone here that by far the two most impressive and impactful speeches that I've heard have been given by young people, and in particular by Nancy. In fact, I felt like I should probably hand my speech to Nancy and ask her to deliver it on my behalf, so impressive she was. So it's to young people that we should be looking, it seems to me. And Kenya is, of course, blessed with very many young people. It's a very young, involving young tech developers across the whole of East Africa to come together to design and develop software applications looking to find solutions to corruption-related challenges. As part of this, we were engaging youth, explaining the relevance of the UN Convention and, of course, Kenya's role in implementing it. We had almost 150 applicants from across, I think, 7 or 8 jurisdictions across the whole of East Africa. So popular was it that we even had people from Nigeria asking to join, and from other jurisdictions which are not obviously part of East Africa. So we're thinking about expanding it to become a Pan-African competition, because I've been here in Kenya for 2.5 years, and it's one of my frustrations that Africa is often seen as part of the problem when it comes to corruption. I would like Africa to be seen as part of the solution when it comes to corruption. And I think it's only through engaging young people with their ideas that we can start to do that. I had a few more comments, but Trevor, I'm very conscious that we're short on time, so I'll finish there. Asante sana.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for David Robinson. Asante ni sana. And another round of applause for the Cliff 20 sectors who have just spoken. We've not been able to allow all of them to speak, but a round of applause for all the 20 sectors of Cliff. Your input and support goes a long way in the fight against corruption. At this point, I'd like to hand over to my colleague and my co-MC, Patrick Kiongo, Head of Protocol, Kiambu County, to take us through the next phase. We will still be pressed for time, as always, but I'm sure we will catch up on it.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Let's give a round of applause to Trevor. He's done a fantastic job. Thank you, and God bless you. Now, in the interest of time, our chief guest, the Attorney General, His Excellency the Governor, would like to make it short because by 1, His Excellency the President keynote address must be mailed. Now, with your permission, Your Excellency and the chief guest, we'd like to recognize the presence of the county government officers, the CECs, and the administration of the governor that are with us today so that they can be upstanding. We recognize them. The CEC first. This day is very important for Kiambu County, our chief guest. Those are the CEC that are with us. A round of applause. We have the chief officers. Please remain upstanding. The chief officers present. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We have the sub-county administrators who went through a training, and the directors. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. In the interest of time, we recognize the presence of the Leader of Majority, Kiambu County Assembly, because the Speaker will be standing, he will be recognizing you, and the other MC that are with us. Around me, Chief Guest, and Your Excellency the Governor, at this juncture, to invite the County Commissioner, Kiambu County, to make his welcoming remarks as we move on with the program. Thank you very much, and karibu, our Commissioner.
The Honorable Attorney General, the Honorable Governor for Kiambu County, the Chairperson of EACC, itifaki zote zikifuatiliwa. First of all, I want to start by thanking Cliff for picking on Kiambu County to host this commemoration. I also want to agree with the previous speakers that for us to succeed, lazima wananchi wenyewe were brought on board. Vita dhidi ya corruption imekuwa ngumu, and we must admit, kwa sababu we have given it lukewarm support kama wananchi. Nilifurahi sana last week when we hosted the Civilian Oversight Committee in my office. They were taken through some training, and I told the CAS who had come with them kwamba vita dhidi ya corruption hatutashinda mwananchi mwenyewe asipokuwa empowered. Honorable Attorney General, I want to thank you for empowering the civilian oversight teams. Let them fund them, work on work programs, tuwapatie resources, waingie mashinani, ili wananchi wajue kwamba corruption ni mbaya. In this country, tuko na experience. Wakati kulikuwa na insecurity in this county zamani, when I was a young man in this county, the people stood up and said no. Before the people stood up, watu wengi walikuwa wamehama. Wamehamia Kitengela, wengine walienda Ngong because of insecurity. Wakati Mungiki waliingia Central Region na Nairobi and other regions, the people stood up and said no, and they were able to defeat Mungiki. So the people can equally stand up and say no, na tutashinda vita dhidi ya ufisadi. But unless this country are willing to stand up and say hatutaki ufisadi, vita itakuwa ngumu. We've seen cases where people have been arrested for misappropriating resources. The same Kenyans on social media wanaanza politicization. Wanasema huyu ameshikwa kwa sababu ya hivi na vile. Thank you for bringing this fight to the grassroots, because it cannot be won from up there. We hope kwamba Cliff, within your strategy, there's a component for devolution, so that the fight is devolved to the counties, to the lowest levels of our administrative structures. I can assure you that all these people seated here wangependa tumalize ufisadi, lakini wengi wao wanajiuliza tutamalizaje. That has always been the biggest question. Tutamalizaje ufisadi nchi hii? Now we have an answer. Ladies and gentlemen, tupande hii ndege ama hili gari, tupambane na ufisadi. Manake nchi yetu ya Kenya, for those who are around in 203, muliona vile wananchi walijitolea kupambana na ufisadi. We should ask ourselves what happened. Because those days, hata polisi hangechukua hongo. Mtu wa matatu hangepeana hongo. Abiria hawangekubali. What happened? So, Honorable Attorney General, I want to thank you and your colleagues kwa sababu mmeamua hii vita lazima tupigane navyo na lazima tushinde. Maana tusiposhinda nchi itaangamia. And I don't think we are ready nchi iangamie. Mabibi na mabwana, are we really ready for this country to go under because of a few people? Are we? We are not. Because wale wanaiba ni watu wachache. The majority are left languishing in poverty, in misery. So we must be able to stand up. Let us not worship wale ambao wanaiba. Because in this country, ukiiba, utajirike, you become a hero. We must change that narrative. I think those are the comments I wanted to make. Thank you for this opportunity. And thank you for choosing Kiambu County to host this forum. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bwana County Commissioner. We'll now have the County Assembly Speaker, Honorable Bishop Stephen Disho, to make his few remarks. Karibu sana, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. Nafikiria yangu itakuwa machache. Kwanza ni kusema ya kwamba as Kiambu, we are happy that Chairman, you chose to come and celebrate this International Day on Corruption in our county. Actually, wakati niliona hiyo mwaliko ama hiyo barua, I asked myself a fundamental question. Why was Kiambu chosen? Was it because we are the most corrupt county in the world? Or is it that we are the most improved county on corruption issues? Where is our index? These are the things that I asked myself, and I was very shaken. Nikifikiri ukisikia EACC wanakuja kwenu, my friends, watu wengine hawakuli siku hiyo. So we are happy that you came to celebrate this day and remind us about the evils of corruption. Before I do my final remark, Your Excellency, and all protocols observed, I would like to introduce the members of the Assembly who are here today, starting with the Deputy Speaker, the Honorable Philip Mufea, member for Shiada. Next to him is the Leader of Majority, Honorable Gideon Gitau Ashara. Behind him is the area member where we are, the Honorable Kamaguru, ambaye ndiye mjumbe wa hapa tupo. And then nimeona mbunge wa Mushadha, Mheshimiwa Ngishu. I have seen other members out there. Please be upstanding so that watu waone na sisi watu wa Assembly tumekuja kushikana na hawa wengine ili tupigane na hili jambo la corruption. So Attorney General and Excellency and Chairman, these are some of the members of the 92-member Assembly ya Kiambu. Na kwetu tumeandika hata kibao pale, this is a corruption-free zone. Thank you very much, honorable members. Asanteni sana. The last time that we came here, Chairman, I said one thing, and I want to repeat it today, that corruption sio kitu rahisi vile tunafikiria. And as a bishop, I say that I want to repeat again, that this is a very powerful and strong spirit, which you can't fight with guns, tear gas, bombs. Even if you bring all the African army, you can't defeat this enemy. This is a spiritual warfare. And I said, I want to repeat again, that namshukuru Rais Uhuru kwa sababu aliangalia na macho ya kiroho. Akaona ya kwamba ile mtu atalete kuwa mstari ya mbele kupigana na hii ufisadi is a spiritual man in the name of the Archbishop Dr. Eliud Wabukala, because it's a spiritual warfare. Wale ambao walikuwa mbele, and I was in Parliament when we started the first Anticorruption Commission or body, it failed completely. Even up to now, we have not really, we can't boast that we have made any success. So Archbishop, wewe ndiye sasa uko na jukumu kubwa ya kupigana na hii ibilisi, this powerful spirit, because guns can't stop it. It is only men and women of God who can come together spiritually and defeat a spiritual animal called corruption. Ya mwisho, Archbishop, I think next year when you celebrate this day, bring the big boys where big money is transacted. That is where corruption is. Sasa hii watu hata mimi naangalia hawa nauliza, hii watu kiagapia mambo ya corruption, they are wondering why we. These things happen, stop there. So next time bring members of parliament, senators, PSAs, CEOs who are parastatos and big companies. Those are the people who should hear this gospel, Mr. Chairman. Sisi watu hapa ni watu kidogo. Ile kitu tunapata hapa ni kitu kidogo sana ambaye it can't move a fly. But things happen up there, and these are the people who should hear this gospel. Therefore, I agree with the Commissioner that it is not unless we as Kenyans stand up and say enough is enough. If we leave it to the police or the government or sisi wanasiasa, we are going to fail badly. But if the small Kenyan in the village can start up aseme tumekataa, na wengine wangambo ile ingine wachukue waseme hata sisi tumekataa, then we all walk to Nairobi and have the biggest picketing function and demonstration and say tumekataa. At least those who are in this game can start thinking about it. So in the last few days, hata nyinyi wenyewe mmejionea kwa magazeti na kwa news outlets that the bigger the corruption is, the easier to finish it. So it really needs the heart of God to finish this. I want to read one verse of the Bible, because I'm a bishop, in the book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3. The Bible says, nikimaliza nikaa chini, and it is sweeter in Kiswahili. Lakini ufahamu neno hili, ya kuwa siku za mwisho ambao sisi tuko saa hii. We are in the last days, my friend. You might not understand Kiswahili, but I heard you talk about Kiswahili. But the Bible is saying about the last days, which we are. Nyakati za kutakuwako nyakati za hatari. We are living, in the English it calls perilous times. Maana watu watakuwa wenye kujipenda wenyewe, wenye kupenda fedha. Corruption comes when somebody loves money more than he earns. It is a prediction, it's a prophecy that is being fulfilled today. That in the last days, watu watatokea wenye kupenda fedha, wenye kujisifu. Sijui kama umeona mtu ambaye ana pesa ambaye sio kama pesa. Mimi naitwa fulani, I come with V8 outside there. The V8 that you see outside there is my vehicle. I have owned about 1,500 acres of coffee trees and tea. I am living in Muthaiga. That's where I shifted last week or last month. It is biblical. Watu wenye kujisifu, wenye kiburi. Ile jamaa bwana, dagitateka na tibesa shako dhukuma ni pesa ya kuiba. Wenye kutukanana. Kama unajua watu waongea mbaya, mtu hana pesa, ni mtu mdogo sana, anaenda anakunywa mandazi na chai, wacha mjamaa, I'm finishing. Wacha mjamaa apate pesa. Every word that comes from his mouth ni ya kutukanana. Habari fulani, nimekuambia unisalimie. How are you, sir? Why can't you greet other people? It is all in the Bible. Wenye kutukanana, wasiotii wazazi wao, wasio na shukurani, wasio safi, wasiopenda wakwao, wasiotaka kufanya suruhu, wasingaziaji, wasiojuzuia, wakali. Kama kuna watu wakali, ni watu wale wana pesa na sio ya kupata kwa njia halali. Wasiopenda mema, wasaliti, wakaidi, wenye kujivuna, wapendao wanasa kuliko kupenda Mungu. So, as I finish, as I sit down, Archbishop, we are also living in the prophetic days that was prophesied, that in the last days, what we are witnessing today was prophesied in the Bible. So what is our role as Christians? It is to stand up and pray and tell God that this thing is defeatable in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. And we believe that we have fought many battles in this country. And this is one of the battles that we can fight as a country and as a people, united for a purpose, and we can defeat it, especially if we invoke the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you very much for choosing Kiabu once again. If you want to come next year, we are still open to you. Attorney General, we would like to see you prosecuting more people. Last week, we said, it's unfortunate that since this organization started, we don't have a single man or woman in committee or ile ya wanawake inaitwa Rangata. Why? So, Attorney General, it's $1 million question to you, but Kenyans looked upon you as the chief prosecutor. na ukipeleka wao, you shall be the most popular person. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
And the remarks. Would like now want to call upon the Deputy CEO, EACC, Mr. Abdi Mahmoud, to make his few remarks. CEO, please let it be short. We are pressed by time. Let it be short.
Okay, thank you. The Honorable Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, the Governor of this great county of Kiambu. I am here on behalf of the CEO, stroke Secretary of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. In other words, I'm a messenger. I'm here to deliver the message of the CEO, which I'm going to read as a good messenger. So all protocols observed. Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this noble commemoration of the International Anti-Corruption Day 2020. Indeed, Kenya has today joined the rest of the world in observing this important day, whose main objective is to reflect and collectively strategize on how to tackle corruption in our beloved nation. On behalf of the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission and the Kenya Leadership and Integrity Forum, I wish to acknowledge with appreciation the support that we have received from the county government of Kiambu in organizing this event. In addition to these national celebrations, we are having here in Kiambu, the commemorations are also simultaneously taking place in Nandi and Nyamira counties. I thank the leadership of those counties for accepting to host the events. In the same breath, let me also acknowledge the support and presence of our development partners and members of the CLIF. As you have been informed, CLIF brings together various stakeholders from the public, private, faith, media, and civil society sectors to fight corruption from an integrated, unified, and collaborative platform. This partnership is a testament of your enduring commitment to the fight against corruption. I am pleased to know that the Kenya Integrity Plan, which is the strategic plan for CLIF for the next 4 years, will be launched in this forum. Ladies and gentlemen, this day is important in our calendar as it marks a shift in the global attitude on corruption. The day was born in October 2003 when the General Assembly of the United Nations adopted the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, in short, UNCAC. Corruption, which was previously perceived as ordinary crime, has evolved to be complex due to its transnational nature and its colossal impact in the society. Some notable effects include high cost of living, insecurity, unemployment, loss of investors or investments, poverty, political instability, and leading to violence, among other undesirable effects. Today, as we mark the 17th anniversary of since Kenya ratified and deposited its instruments, we are called upon to gauge our progress in upholding values of honesty, respect of law, accountability, and transparency. In this regard, allow me to highlight some of the significant milestones that the Commission has realized while employing its key strategies of high-impact investigations, asset recovery, corruption prevention, and partnerships. Since January this year, the Commission has concluded investigation in 110 high-impact cases involving senior state and public officers such as governors, members of parliament, heads of state corporations. Some of the notable cases include the arrest and prosecution of 3 governors from the counties of Tharaka Nithi, Migori, and Garissa for corruption and related offenses. These cases are going in court. We will not diverge into the details. During the same period, the Commission traced and recovered public assets corruptly acquired by individuals valued at approximately 6.2 billion Kenya shillings. These include 53 acres of prime land situated in industry area along Mombasa Road, valued at 5 billion shillings. I am pleased to note that the land is now earmarked for the construction of low-income houses under the Big Four agenda. We have also witnessed development of rich jurisprudence from our courts on the forfeiture of unexplained assets or wealth. The courts have clearly stated that any asset held by a public officer and is disproportionate to their non-legitimate sources of income will be deemed to have been derived from corruption, which means you either prove it that you acquired it, you either prove that you acquired it lawfully or you lose it. The Commission has leveraged in this area and has instituted legal action seeking to recover approximately 2.5 billion. These matters are still pending in court. In regard to our preventive mandate, the Commission is undertaking systems review and in-depth corruption risk assessment in the national and county governments. In addition, we continue to offer advisory services to public entities and provide public education and awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, these milestones are as a result of close collaboration, cooperation, and coordination among players in the justice system. EACC is actively involved and works under the multi-agency team, a framework which has enhanced sharing of information and building institutional capacity through joint trainings. We also acknowledge and commend His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya for demonstrating commitment and leadership in the war against corruption. His Excellency the President has personally made it clear that those who are entrusted with public office must be efficient and discharge their duties with responsibility, transparency, and accountability. This has created a conducive environment for law enforcement agencies to independently discharge their mandate. We therefore call upon all leaders to set the right ethical tone in their respective institutions so as to encourage integrity practices among state and public officers. This will ultimately make the public service reform agenda a success. The Commission recognizes the centrality of the role of the citizens in the fight against corruption. Unfortunately, our experience indicates that majority of our citizens, particularly the youth, glorify corrupt leaders, and they do not proactively participate in anti-corruption initiatives. They perceive the responsibility of fighting corruption to be a preserve of government. However, government cannot fight corruption alone. Indeed, no single agency, however independent or well-resourced, can succeed on its own. A successful war against corruption requires an integrated network of public and private sectors with attendant citizenry support. As a Commission, we will continue to strengthen the role of citizens to perform their civic duty, which include electing leaders of integrity, participating in governance processes, and reporting incidences of corruption and unethical conduct. As I conclude, I wish to assure you that on our part as a Commission, we will remain steadfast in discharging our responsibility to prevent and combat corruption. And as the December festive season commences, I urge Kenyans to exercise caution and respect for other road users. Let us also remain vigilant and report any incidences of corruption on our roads for our immediate action. Thank you, and God bless you. This is by Twalib Mbarak, the Secretary/Chief Executive Officer, EACC. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bwana Abdi. I think now, with your permission, Chief Guest and Your Excellency, the Governor, would like now to call upon the Deputy Governor, Her Excellency Dr. Joyce Wanjiku Ngugi, to make her remarks and later invite for us the Chair, EACC.